Now let's go to Greg Jennings and his mind games. This has been fun and fascinating to watch. Greg Jennings tweaking Aaron Rodgers throughout the offseason since coming to the Vikings. The Star Tribune's Dan Wiederer had a very long story uh, about Jennings, an in-depth profile on him, during which Jennings tweaked Aaron Rodgers over and again. Now, Rodgers is a notoriously thin-skinned quarterback, and his draft day fall probably had a lot to do with that. But you'd think he has since proven that he's a much far better quarterback than Alex Smith, who was drafted way ahead of him and until Rodgers fell to the Packers. But Rodgers still carries an enormous chip on his shoulder, and he takes slight at any imagined slight, perceived or real. So that tells me he's got a major inferiority complex. And Jennings is trying to get under his skin. Now, some reporters have said Jennings is stupid or immature by the way he's needling Aaron Rodgers, but I think there's some method to his madness. Jennings doesn't refer to Rodgers by name. He calls him that guy or their quarterback or number 12. He has compared him unfavorably to Brett Favre, and you know that Jennings and Favre haven't always had the best relationship. Rodgers and Favre have not had the best relationship. Jennings has made a point of saying that Aaron Rodgers has always had excellent receivers to throw to. In fact, Jennings was Rodgers' go-to receiver in his first season, first season starting, and I think Jennings' tweaking of Rodgers is funny. It's funny to me. I think it's funny to fans, but more importantly, I think it's funny to his new teammates. I think. It's probably amusing to his new teammates. It places the focus of his teammates on the Vikings' primary opponent, Green Bay Packers, and then let me quote some things from Wiederer's column or Wiederer's story. Jennings says a lot of times when you have a guy who creates that spotlight for himself and establishes that and takes a lot of that, and it becomes so and so in the team. It should always be the team rather than Aaron Rodgers and the team. It should always be the team. Don't get me wrong, 12 is a great person, but when you hear all positives, all positives, all positives all the time, it's hard for you to sit down when one of your teammates says, man, come on, you've got to hold yourself accountable for this. It's hard for someone to see that now because all they've heard is I'm doing it the right way, I'm perfect. In actuality, we all have flaws. So he's needling Rodgers, and by pointing out that Rodgers is grabbing the spotlight for himself, he's taking away from the team, and I think in part he's telling his new teammates that it's all about the team, that we need to be a team, not individuals with our own glory. So by doing this needling of Rodgers, he's telling his new teammates that we need to emphasize the team. And then he's got this thing that he started on his Twitter account called using the hashtag #SuccessStalkers. And the point of that, and again I'm going to quote from Wiederer's story, whatever walk of life you're in, your goal should always be to stalk some kind of success. So you have to ask yourself daily, what are you doing to truly be successful? Because everyone has it in them. Everyone has that key to their success, but the only person who can unlock it is you. Okay, so that's sort of self-helpish stuff you can roll your eyes at if you want to, but he's using this hashtag, and he's actually very good at Twitter. His account is at Greg Jennings, and he responds to people who are using the hashtag, who are using the hashtag to proclaim accomplishing their goals and encouraging them. But again, with this, there's a message to his teammates that we need to do individually, do whatever we can to improve ourselves every day, find some way to improve ourselves every day, because we've got personal accountability to our own success. So I think he's not crazy in needling Aaron Rodgers. I think there's a method to his madness. I think he's crazy like a fox. And it's fun as hell to watch because, well, it's Aaron Rodgers. So there's Greg Jennings mind games. My take on it anyway. I should note Vikings cam is back. The Vikings have Adrian Peterson hooked up to have a camera hooked up to his helmet, so you can get the point of view of the man, Adrian Peterson, MV Peterson. So visit Vikings.com to check out that video. Pretty awesome to see that. I want to give some shout outs before we wrap this. Kirby Aarons, thank you for watching the show. Kirby watches the show from a Navy destroyer based in Pearl Harbor. That is awesome. What I want to know is, Kirby, do you ever play football on the deck of a destroyer? Can you play football on the deck of a destroyer? That would be fun. Kirby was at last year's Pro Bowl where Kyle Rudolph won MVP. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much more for your service to our nation. I appreciate it. And then I want to thank Martin Simpson, too, for +1ing all of the Vikings chat content on Google+. I appreciate that. Thanks for giving us the thumbs up on Google+. And I just want to point out the importance of social media for spreading the word and helping spread the word about the Vikings chat. When you do that, when you like something on Facebook, some Vikings chat stuff on Facebook, when you share a video, you're helping build this audience and helping build us a community so we can all chat during Vikings games. So please do all that, and thank you for doing it. And Martin, again, thank you for sharing stuff, and thanks for watching. Appreciate it. So let's wrap this. It's been a long episode. We'll be back next week. MinnesotaVikingsChat.com is where you can find us. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/Minnesota Vikings Chat. On Twitter at Minnesota Vikings Chat. Or at Twitter on twitter.com/MNVikingsChat, and of course use the Vikings Chat hashtag so we know when you're talking about the Vikings. What do you think? What do you think about this podcast? Leave your comments below, and be sure to subscribe to Minnesota Vikings YouTube channel so you don't miss any of these videos. So that's it. That's a wrap for this week. My name's David Erickson, host of Minnesota Vikings Chat, and we'll see you next week. Until then, go Vikings!